welcome back to this YouTube channel and welcome back to this video. And in this video, I'm going to tell you everything about what I've learned throughout sixth form. So yeah, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe and comment and turn on the notifications on so that whenever a new video is posted, you guys will get that notification and you guys will watch that video, innit? So yeah, let's get straight into it. And I'm going to tell you about everything that I've learned throughout sixth form so far. And yeah, one thing that I've learned throughout sixth form, when I was in year 12 and year 13, is that sixth form is very, very serious, right? And the teachers in sixth form and the sixth form members of staff, they're going to treat you like young adults, and they're going to keep talking about universities, college and apprenticeships and work experience. They're going to be talking about all those things a lot. You know why? Because the sooner or later you'll be hearing those things, you'll be very, very tired and you'll be sick and tired of hearing those teachers always waffling about it, you know? Because it seems like, yeah, that the sixth form members of staff, yeah, they want students to get into universities. Like, do they not even know that not everyone wants to go to universities? Like, others, they have other destinations in mind that they want to go to, like, once they finish sixth form. Like, it's not even by force, you know? That's why you see every teachers, yeah, always so obsessed with universities. Like, the only reason why they want students to go to university is because they want to see that student suffering, and they want to see that student be suffering from pain and be suffering from depression, and they want to see that student be having a hard time at university, you know? Because sooner or later, when that student goes to university, the first year is going to be okay, and it's going to be decent from like September to December and up till like the next year. But in the second year and the third year, that's when things start to get so serious. Things start to get too much, you know, and things start to, you know, to get very chaotic, you know, and that's when the students gonna be in a hell lot of pain, a hell lot of tight boredom, you know, because they're gonna give you coursework and they're gonna give you exams, you know. It's just gonna be too much, and eventually that student's going to burn out, you know. That's the whole reason why you see teachers and you see parents and you see the sixth form team always be talking about university, because they want every child to go to university, you know. Because at the end of the day, yeah, like, if you go to uni, there's still gonna be unserious people there. Like, you'll be thinking, oh, that university is so serious, universities have serious students and they have smart students. No, there's still gonna be unserious people, and there's still going to be students that will always misbehave. There's gonna be those students there, you know. So yeah, that's the thing that I've learned about being in sixth form, you know. Because teachers and the members of staff, even the head of sixth form, who will always be talking about universities a lot. That's the only thing they'll always talk about a lot, because they keep mentioning it in assemblies, and tutors even mention it in morning read as well, and in form tutors as well. They always keep mentioning universities a lot all the time, just so that they want to see that students suffer the same pain they suffered in secondary school and in sixth form. That's why they want every student to go to university. And another thing that I've learned whilst I was in sixth form is that my head of sixth form, yeah, right, and my sixth form pastor also, right, they will always be talking about uniform standards. Like, they are so strict on uniform. I'm telling you guys for a fact. Like, you there thinking that, oh, you can go to sixth form to be wearing your own clothes, and that you're not going to wear your uniform, and that you're not going to wear business clothing. No, they're actually so strict on uniform standards, because they won't let you wear your own clothes, and they won't let you wear your own trainers as well. They want you to wear adult clothing. They want you to wear business clothes. That's what they want you to wear. The only reason why they're so strict in uniform is because they don't want the students to disgrace the school. They don't want the students to disgrace the sixth form and to disgrace, like, you know, the teachers themselves. Because if the students done that, yeah, then they'll put a mockery into the school, and it will lead to all the other younger students, like the year 11 students and the year 10 students, into believing that they can wear their own clothes in sixth form. And that's why teachers don't want that to happen. That's why the sixth form team don't want that to happen, because literally countless of students in my year and my mates have been wearing their own clothes, right? And they always be reminded constantly that if you wear your own clothes, you're gonna get sent home straight away. Some of the boys in my school, yeah, in my year, has been wearing trainers to school, and they've been wearing some of their own clothes to school, and yet they still get sent home straight away. Like, sixth form teachers, yeah, and the sixth form staff, they will send you home straight away when you come in with wrong clothing and when you're not in your sixth form uniform. That's the reason. That's the only reason why they will send you home, because you're not wearing your sixth form clothing. You're not being professional, and you're not being serious, and that you're not representing the school so well, and you're not being an inspiration and role model and setting out an example to all the younger students, and that you're disgracing yourself to the entire school, and then they'll call their parents straight away, yeah, asking out, oh, why is your child not wearing not wearing her uniform to school, like what's going on? And the parents will end up getting very, very angry, innit? Like there was this one time, yeah, that I got sent home, right, for wearing my own clothes, Bear in mind, this happened on a Wednesday, right? Like I came to sixth form, I came to school on a Wednesday, and I was wearing my own clothes, right? And I was meant to like finish my coursework technically, like for media. As my media teacher wanted me to come to school on the Wednesday to finish up my coursework, like because I was falling behind, right? I was going to school. And once I arrived in school wearing my own clothes, the receptionist was asking me, oh, why am I wearing my own clothes? She was asking for my lanyard, and I told her that I did even have my lanyard, and then she told me, saying, is there anything I can exchange my lanyard for? Exchange for like any of my items. I just tell her no. And then Miss Days, but then my head of sixth form come, and then he saw me wearing my own clothes, and the receptionist lady told me, saying, I will let him deal with you, which was quite rude. And then my head of sixth form was be like, oh, you can't wear this, you're not allowed to wear this, like you're supposed to wear your own uniform, and once you get home, change, and then come back when you're fully dressed in your uniform. I'm just there like, okay, cool. Then that's how I just gone home straight away, and I just didn't come back for the rest of the day, And then the next day, my media teacher was so angry. I was wondering why I didn't even come in, because I just told him everything that has happened about me not wearing my own clothes, And my media teacher just crashed out, simply. Yeah, he simply crashed out, with it. So yeah. And the third thing that I've learned whilst I was in sixth form, right, is there's always like boys, yeah, like there are going to be some boys, right, that won't be focused on their studies. Like they'll only be applying to the sixth form just because offers football scholarship. That's what they'll only be applying to sixth form for, because they want to play football. Technically, that's the third thing that I've learned. In my school, right, there was a running scholarship, yeah, and all the boys from other schools, they signed up for it because they want to play football, like throughout when they're like in the middle of their studies, when they're in the middle of their courses, like when they're in the middle of the exams, they just signed up to play football technically, and they have to like represent their school, and they have to represent, the team technically. That's what they have to do. Plus, like these Welling boys, right? Like they'll be playing football, and most of the times us boys will always gonna be loud, and we always gonna be shouting, we always gonna be screaming, and we always just gonna be causing chaos. Like we always gonna be so loud, man. We always just gonna cause all the madness in school. That's easy what has happened, And sixth form is their thing. Sixth form starts like serious. Sixth form is just full of mixed students. Sixth form, is just chaotic. It can be energetic, it can be positive vibes, it can be boring, and it can be too much, and it can be like too stressful, especially like if you're doing your A levels, yeah, like when you revise for your A levels, it can be tiring, and if you revise for your BTECHs as well, it can be tiring as well. If you revise for your T-Techs and your T levels as well, it's going to be tiring as well, because you know why? Because sixth form will just gives you so much pain, gives you so much pressure, and it's going to impact your mental health, it's going to impact your depression, it's going to impact your anxiety, it's going to lead to you overthinking, That's the whole reason why you have to be serious in sixth form. That's the whole reason why you have to have to study for your exams, and that you have to revise constantly for any of your exams, because if you're not that serious in sixth form, that's why these teachers, yeah, they're going to kick you out technically. They're going to do that to you straight away. And most of the time, like, the kids who are playing football, like, for a scholarship in sixth form, like, they're the ones that will end up getting a bad grades, whereas some of them will always get a good grade. You know why? Because they have been playing football a lot, they have been into tournaments, and they've been playing against other teams and other schools, home and away. That's what always happens. It's just the schedule, that whoever organises the schedule, that literally impacts, the education, it impacts the exams, innit? You get what I mean? So yeah, that's one thing I've learned. But thankfully, I just didn't sign up to play football, because the reason why I just didn't want to sign up is because I'm in the middle of my education. Just don't really have time, and I'm just don't really have time to play football, because I played football in secondary school, but in sixth form I still want to play football, technically, because I feel like, yeah, it's too tired. It's just not even worth my time. It's just a waste of time, anyways. And yeah, a fourth thing that I've learned throughout sixth form is that if you keep failing your exams, including your A levels and your T levels and your C-Techs and your B-Techs, right? If you keep failing your exams, you're gonna have to retake a year. That's what happens. Like in year 12, yeah, if you failed your exams, and if you failed your exams throughout the winter to the spring and to the summer, right? If you failed all them exams, then the teacher's gonna make you retake a year. That's what's gonna happen. They're gonna make you retake a year, or they'll just send you to another, or they'll just send you a college straight away. They'll just send you to another school, because they just don't want you, because they know that your results are priority. Because if you get bad results, it's gonna impact the school. It's gonna impact the education. It's gonna impact the sixth form, because everyone else be thinking, oh, why are students getting bad results in sixth form? Why are they getting bad results in sixth form? Like, what's going on? Like, I remember in year 12, I failed my real exams. Yeah, I did BTECHs technically. I failed my exams. Yeah, and I was there like, oh, I need to revise. In parents' evening, my IT teachers just tell them my results. Just tell them, oh, I did so bad. I need to revise. And I remember, like, in year 13, like, when I failed my exams, my teachers were telling me, oh, you need to revise, because if you fail, then you fail the entire course. And I'm just there, like, shivering. I'm just there, like, scared. That put him switch into my mind, being like, I need to revise. I need to revise for my exams. That's what I need to do. I need to revise, and I actually need to study. And that's how I eventually passed my exams. That's how I end up getting decent grades, man. In like in my exams on results day, that's how I got decent grades, like in year 13, on results day, because it's actually mad, boys. It's actually mad. It's been a journey, because that's why you have to be studying a lot, and you have to be revised for your exams, because you never know what question's going to come up. You never know what topic's going to come up, because the more you revise for your exams, the more you're going to find the exam easy, and the more that you're going to come up with a game plan, and the better that you will do well, and the better that you'll perform better than the last time you did an exam in the hall. So yeah, that's the one thing that I've learned, that's why you should keep revising, you should do all the hard work, and that you should keep on staying very, very consistent, and you need to show so much dedication, you need to show so much work ethic, and you need to never give up, and you need to make an academic comeback straight away. You need to do so much you need to do some coursework, and you need to do some revision. That's all you need to do. And you need to make flashcards, and you need to do past papers, and you need to make mind maps, and you need to, draw diagrams, and you can be reading from the textbook. That's what you got to be doing, for you to be able to pass your exams. Otherwise, if you fail your exams, they'll make you retake year 12. That's what easily happens. They'll just tell you have to retake another year. That's literally what they do. That's literally so peak, Thankfully, I didn't do any of that, I didn't do any of that, because I imagine that if you retake another year, yeah, it's going to be long, it's going to be dry, it's going to be peak, it's going to be so boring, If you're in year 12 when you're about to transition to year 13, right, and you're a year 13 student, they'll just make you retake year 12 again. And if you're in year 13, and by the time you get to results, they end up failing all your exams, they'll just tell you have to retake another year, and they'll just tell you what to do next, and they'll just tell you to go to college. That's what they'll tell you, And yeah, I remember that time, yeah, like when I was in school, like when I was in my head of sixth form's office, right, and I was there with my mum and a career advisor, my sixth form pastoral officer, and another teacher, right, and they were like telling me, they don't think I'm gonna get into university because my grades isn't that good enough, and my UCAS points are just not even that good enough either. But then I just listened, and they told me that I should apply to college straight away. And yeah, that's what they told me, Until then, in the summer, I just started work. I did my coursework, and I revised for my exams, and I passed. Technically, I passed, and now I got a place from offer. That's like easily what has happened, like in sixth form technically. So yeah, the fifth thing that I've learned in sixth form is that there's always going to be unserious people, you know. There's always going to be unserious people. Because you're there thinking there's going to be serious people in sixth form. No, no, no. There's still going to be unserious people there. Because you know them unserious people, right? They just don't want to do their work, and they'll just cause all the drama, and they'll just be mean, and they think they're the main character, and that just got to do all them. They'll just cause them the madness, and they're just there for vibes. They're just there for the motive. They're just there to like chill out. They're just there to relax. Nah. There's gonna be serious people, and there's gonna be unserious people. The unserious people are the guys that are gonna fail the exam, and the guys that are not gonna get into uni, not gonna get an apprenticeship, and they're not gonna, get into college. Those are the guys, right, that won't do so well in life. That's what they do, and they'll just be falling behind as well in the coursework as well. They'll have to be coming in every Wednesday to finish it up. So yeah, that's what I've learned in sixth form, because it's gonna be unserious guys, just always just talking a lot, just always be doing too much. That's exactly what I've learned. And the sixth thing that I've learned in sixth form is that study base, in the study base, right, everyone studies, and the study base is just a motive, and it's just a party technically. And the study base is just there to relax, Like, you see so many students be relaxing, like, whenever there's a study period, whenever there's a study period, right, so many students here, they'll just relax, right? Whereas there'll be other students that'll just be revised for the exams, they'll be doing their coursework, and they'll, just be revised for the A levels, they'll revised for the CTECs, and they're just looking in straight away. Whereas there are other students as well in the study base, they'll just there chill, and they're just there vibing, and they'll just there procrastinate. They'll always be on their phones, they'll be scrolling on TikTok. That's what you see them students be doing. Like, when I was in the study base, right, like in my study periods, right, I was doing my work, I was revising, and there was times I was relaxing, there was times I was just messing around and all that. Like, and there were like kids in my study base, right, in my study period, they'll always be chilling, they'll always be relaxing, they'll always be there for vibes and all that, and they'll be treating the study base like it's Love Island or something. And you always see boys going up to girls, dropping game on them and raising them up whilst they're in the study base, whilst they're in school, like, in school, like, they're meant to revise for their exams. And you see all the boys always be dropping game on girls, you always see them raising them up every time. You always see them trying to get their snap, trying to get their number. Like, I feel like they're just begging it too much, because do they know that they're in the study base, that they're in school? Like, this is not Love Island. Do they know that this is not Love Island, that this is not Love is Blind, and this is not Blind Dating? Like, it's just not an event. This is not a motive. Like, technically, this is a study base, and this is where students are meant to be revised for the exams. This is where students are meant to be doing well, and they're meant to be doing the coursework, and they're not meant to not be stuck behind. And that's when they're meant to be serious, Because I mean, the teachers, yeah, the sixth form staff, yeah, because if you're not doing any studies in the study base, you're just there relaxing, they're gonna take your study periods away, and that's how you're gonna be in another lesson. That's what they can do, because they keep saying that the study base is there to study, not to relax. There will always be a group study, and there'll always be independent study as well. And yeah, there'll always be those two things in the study base straight away, where students will get into groups and they'll study. And that's what easily happens in sixth form. Like, this study base was so loud. Oh my days. You're going to see everyone keep talking. You're going to see guys always get into groups. You get the girls get into groups as well. Everyone is so loud in the study base, man. They'll always be talking. And the year 13s as well, yeah, they'll take the study base away. They'll just hog the whole study base. And the year 12s as well, they're just begging for year 13s that they want to get a laptop, they want to spare like headphones, but nah, it's just class of year 12 and the class of year 13s, about who takes over the study base, like who rules the study base and all that. Like there's this time, yeah, like when I was going into study base, like everyone hogged the computer. Like, I want to do coursework, like everyone literally hogged the computers, right? And I was just there, standing there, just like, that's like actually doing nothing, and I just sit down. That's how I didn't do any of else. They're relaxing, and yeah, it was so crazy, man. Like, it was so mad, innit? That's like literally what happens, like, when you're just not on the computer, when you're not on the laptop, to do your coursework, innit? That's like literally the reason why you should always go to the computer. You should always get to the laptop first before anyone else does, and that you should not be standing there doing nothing. And yeah, and eventually, yeah, I just got what I want, and I ended up passing my exams, and I just still did coursework, and I still ended up submitting my coursework before the deadline. Yeah, that's the most important thing that you really have to do. And yeah, that's exactly what I've done, guys. And that's what I've done, boys. And yeah, how to get so active and have to secure a hat trick straight away. That's exactly what you need to do. And yeah, the seventh thing I've learned in sixth form is that you should always wear your lanyard straight away. You should always be wearing your lanyard because the teachers here and the students and the sixth forms team, they'll always be telling students to wear their lanyards. They'll be telling year 12 students and year 13 students to wear their lanyards straight away because, say for example, if a student's not wearing their lanyard and if they lost their lanyard, then the teachers will give them a spare one. And the reason why teachers want you to wear lanyards is they want you to represent the school, and they're treating you like an adult, and they just want you to settle into a workplace, and they're just preparing you for the work life. They're just preparing you for job careers, and they're just gonna prepare you for the job opportunities. That's what they're preparing you for. Like if you just not even wearing your lanyard, then yeah, it's gonna be a long day. You always be seeing sixth form teachers in the corridors, right? Always be telling you to wear your lanyards, wear your lanyards, wear your lanyards, wear your lanyard. That's what they always tell you to do. Like I remember the time, yeah, like when my lanyard was in my pocket, like during changeover, right? I wasn't even wearing my lanyard, right? And then my head of sixth form was told me to wear my lanyard because you can easily get into trouble for not even wearing your lanyard at all, because if you're not even wearing your lanyard and you refuse, you're gonna get a detention at the end of the day. That always happens, because you're just there thinking that you can bust. You're there thinking that you can bust case and that the teachers they won't know that you're wearing lanyard. Well, trust me, they know, because they're not seeing a lanyard on your neck. They're not seeing your lanyard put in the behind of your neck. That's what they see. They are seeing. Because certain guys, yeah, in school and certain girls in school think they can bust case, when they're not even wearing the lanyards. Think they can bust case, but the teachers know, and the teachers will always tell them to wear their lanyards. That's what they do, because teachers the sixth form team are gonna be everywhere. They're gonna be everywhere in the upstairs, and they're gonna be everywhere in the building, and even the SLT leaders as well. They'll just tell the sixth form students to wear their lanyards, man. Like in that situation, I'll just get very mad. I'll just get very pissed, like when teachers tell me to wear my lanyard, because I just didn't even want to wear my lanyard. I was just there perfect on my own without even wearing it. And in secondary school, I wasn't even wearing a lanyard as well. But it's only in sixth form that they make us wear lanyards, And when changeover happens, there's teachers. I remember they introduced like a one-way system, technically, where everyone has to go one way, and that you can't go the other way. Have to follow the arrows, and if you don't follow the arrows, you're gonna get detention at the end of the day, which I find pretty much stupid in my opinion. Like they shouldn't be doing that at all, and yeah. Like that's why it's always supported to wear your lanyard, because every student, every sixth form staff is gonna be on your case. They're gonna be everywhere, They're gonna tell you to wear your lanyard. That's what they'll do, because they want you to represent the school. They want to turn you into role models, and they want to help you to be an inspiration to everyone. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what has happened, So yeah, and the seventh thing that I've learned, that I have learned in sixth form, right, is that you are allowed to use your mobile phones. Sixth form students are allowed to use their mobile phones, but only in the study base, only at break time, and only at lunch time they're allowed to use their phones, And sixth form students are not allowed to use their phones in lessons. Like when they're in lessons, they're not allowed to use their phones, because if they use their phones in lessons, right, the teacher will just confiscate their phones straight away. That's literally what has happened. Sixth form students are not allowed to wear their phones. They're not allowed to play, not allowed to use their phones in lessons. They're not allowed to use their phones in lessons, because they'll get in trouble. Because it will just distract the rest of the students in lessons. That's literally what happens. And there was time that I was filming a TikTok video in class with the rest of my mates in sports, right? But then my sports teacher took my phone away. I had to get my phone at the end of the day. That's exactly what has happened, because you see my mates always be on their phones in class, and you see some of them always be on the phone, and you see some of them as well just sending messages on their phone, being on Snapchat, being on TikTok, and at the end of the day, they go into trouble. They go into trouble. I'm just there like, nah, that's peak, because that's exactly what has happened in sixth form, man. Because you're gonna get in trouble for being on your phone, which is, which is crazy, man, which is insanity. That's why I just regretted going to sixth form, man. That's why I just regretted going to sixth form, because it just gets so boring at all. You get so boring, It's like junior year 12, it gets boring. Like, you're just there, like, you want to leave. Then you see the year 13s leaving school, you're just there wondering, I wish I could leave, I wish I could leave. And yeah, that's exactly what has happened. And then the next thing that I've learned in sixth form is that there's always going to be fake people. There's always going to be fake people. Like, everyone are not mates with each other. Everyone are not friends with each other. There's going to be fake people in sixth form, That's what I've learned in sixth form, because in sixth form, right, everyone's going to pretend to be nice to each other, but when they leave school, right, they're just not going to talk to each other again, and they'll just isolate each other. That's exactly what's happened after sixth form, because you can tell that no one in sixth form actually liked each other. No one actually wants to be friends with each other. Like, no one wants to be in school. Like, they're all just there for holiday. They're all just there for vibes. That's what they're there for. They're all just there for a lad's holiday. They're just there for a girl's holiday, at least. That's why no one wants to be in sixth form. No one wants to go there, because they're just there thinking that they're in the prison, that they're just being trapped in the prison. That's exactly what they're thinking, And that's why people will prefer going to college over sixth form, because in sixth form, it's like a prison, it's like a dungeon, and that you ain't gonna be free, like, you're not gonna be free, and that you're just being forced to work, and yeah, and that, like, you're in a job like you're in the office, and they'll just force you to work, and yeah. That's exactly what's happening in sixth form, There's gonna be fake people, The fake people, pretend to be your friend. They'll mug you off straight away. They'll laugh at you. They'll take the piss out of you. They'll make fun of you behind your back. That's as easy what has happened, They'll just isolate you from groups at all. Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me, because when I was making TikTok videos on TikTok, like, whilst I was still in sixth form, guys were isolating me out of their groups. That's what they were doing. Like, they were isolating me out of their groups, and they just don't want me there. And they're thinking, oh, you think you're better than us? You think you're better than us? Yeah. And I'm just there like, well, who says I'm better than you guys? Because that's how I always just avoid the group straight away. That's how I always be hanging out on my own all the time during break time and lunchtime, because I don't want anything to do with them. And you always see the girls even isolate each other out of the group straight away, and there will always be a divide in the girls straight away. There will always be a divide in sixth form, because groups will always be splitted. Like, there's always a divide in sixth form. There's always a divide in secondary school as well, and the divide is going to be big. It's going to be bigger, and that always happens in sixth form, man. Like, it really, really does happen in sixth form, because there's always going to be a divide, and everyone's, it's going to be, everyone's not going to get along, and yeah. And yeah, if you like fighting sixth form, like, if there's a fight in sixth form, you instantly get kicked out straight away. That's exactly what happens. You get kicked out straight away, and that's exactly what I've learned, because there's one time a year 10 student tried to fight me. He just thought I slapped him in the head, and I got into trouble for it. And there's one time, like, one of my mates, it was formerly my sixth form, like, one of my mates, like, got into trouble because some younger student was being rude to him, was giving him verbal, and then one of my mates literally just pinned him to the lunch table and was beating him up and all that. And then guess what? He got into trouble, and he got kicked out of my school straight away, and he got transitioned to Alice Garrett, man. Which is peak, man, because sixth form students are not allowed to get into a fight with younger students in secondary school. They're not allowed to do that, because I feel like the younger students always just disrespect sixth form students a lot all the time. They always do that every time, It's like, anytime a sixth form student does something back to a younger student, even though the younger student started that was being rude to sixth form student for no reason at all, the sixth form student will get into trouble at all. I'm just there like, this is totally unfair. Like, what are these double standards, man? It's just so pointless, it's just so useless, innit? And that's exactly what I've learnt, innit? Because in sixth form, there's always gonna be sides. Teachers will always be taking sides, That's exactly what I have learned in sixth form, And yeah, and then I learned that there's gonna be a sixth form assembly. There's gonna be assembly, about universities, UCAS, and there's gonna be assembly about UCAS fair and work experience as well, and writing a CV as well. There's always gonna be an assembly on all those things in sixth form, because you're there thinking that they're gonna be talking about something else other than universities, apprenticeships, like T levels, A levels, work experience, and applying for jobs and write your CV. No, they ain't gonna be talking about other things other than that. No, they ain't gonna be talking about other things, man. That's the main topics that you see huge. That you see the sixth form staff always be talking about all the time. They always talk about those topics a lot all the time. That's where you'll see those students, like those students, always be listening to this to the staff always talking about them a lot all the time, because it's just you're just gonna be bored. You're just gonna be bored, you know. You're just gonna be bored because the sixth form staff will always be repeating the uniform standards, and they'll always be repeating, you know, the stuff about universities and colleges and T levels, A levels, and uniform standards, and watching CV and applying for work experience. Like, you always just seeing them talking about it and applying for jobs as well. You always see teachers always be talking about it, man, which is quite annoying, which is quite tiring, you know. Because I'm just there singing assembly. I'm just there like, oh my days, can this assembly just end? I was just there like sleeping, you know. I was just there sleeping because I just can't take any more of this, man. Because we all know in the assembly they're just going to be talking about universities and apprenticeships, man. That's exactly what they're going to talk about, you know. I feel like the only reason why teachers talk about it is because they want to see our students sleeping. They want to give our students a detention. That's what they want to do. They want to give all of our students a detention. That's what they want to see us, you know, get into trouble. Because the more the teachers talk about it, the more that our students are going to be bored. That's why it's recommended not to go to sixth form, man, because it's gonna be prison, man. Because every assembly will be about sixth form uniform standards and universities and apprenticeships. That's what every sixth form assembly is going to be about, guys. So yeah, and there's times I'm gonna stay like I'm gonna just leave the assembly straight away, but no, I couldn't. So yeah, I remember that time, yeah, when I skipped out sixth form assembly, you know. Like, basically, there was like talk about university. I remember the time I skipped that assembly, right? And I didn't even get into trouble for it, which is crazy, which is mad, you know, because yeah, I was in year 12 by then. Like, there's times I skipped. There's one time I skipped sixth form assembly, and yeah, I didn't even get into trouble for it, you know, because if you don't go into sixth form assembly, you're gonna get detention. They're gonna just tell. They're just gonna force you to go to the assembly. That's what they're gonna do. Because I feel like, yeah, that if I go into assembly late and I walked in, everyone's gonna look at me and it will be so embarrassing, you know. It will be so embarrassing. Oh my god, oh my days. And everyone's gonna start laughing straight away if I walk into sixth form assembly by myself whilst being late, which is so embarrassing, man. I can't lie. That's why I had to skip the assembly. That's why I didn't even show up to it. And yeah, that's exactly what's happened. And then the final thing that I've learned in sixth form is, right, if you're a content creator in sixth form, right, if you're making videos and you've gone viral and you've gone famous on TikTok and YouTube and on social media straight away, yeah, everyone, they're going to talk to you. Everyone will know about it. Even the teachers, they're going to know about it. The whole year group and the whole school are going to know about it. They're going to know about what you're doing on TikTok and on YouTube. That's exactly what's happened to me. That's exactly what's happened to me, you know, because ever since I've gone viral on TikTok, ever since I've gone viral like on social media as well, guys will just come up to me in sixth form. They'll be like, hey man, you're famous now, you're famous, did you gone viral now? Put the fans in the back, yeah, you're that guy, like, do you remember me? Yeah, do you remember, like, you're thinking you're famous and all that. Like, don't forget to remember me, don't forget to remember me when you're famous. And that's what they always say. That's what they always say, you know, and even the teachers as well. This one time, like, when I was going viral on TikTok, like this teacher just told me to stop making TikToks. So I'm just there like, there's no need for that, man. There's no need for that. Like, why are you mentioning my TikToks in class, which is so embarrassing at all? And the teachers, yeah, like some of my teachers, they'll just be talking to me about my TikTok, because it's just this class that it's just my mates always be talking about my TikToks a lot in class, a lot all the time. Sometimes I'll just stand there, be like a bit annoyed and a bit embarrassed, because there's no need to mention my TikToks in class. There's no need for that, because we are in a school. That's like easy what happens. That's literally every content creator's nightmare when they're in school, you know, because teachers gonna bring up the fact like, oh, how much are you making? How much money are you making? How much money are you making? Like, it just gets so annoying, man, if I'm being so real. And that's what I've learned whilst I was in sixth form, because I learned that if you make content in school and you're going viral and famous in school on social media, yeah, teachers gonna know about it, you know. And there was times when there's teachers, you know, just investigate what I'm doing on TikTok, and they were like being like, oh, what's this guy doing on TikTok? And they'll think that I'm being misogynistic, and which I'm clearly not, you know. And yeah, I got so much and they tried to refer me to like councils, and they're trying to get me on the panel. And initially, they have failed, you know, which they cannot even do, because I was going far on TikTok. I did so well on TikTok, man, I can't lie. And yeah, they just want to bring me down, you know, because on social media, like, teachers always just want to bring every student down when they're on social media making content. They just want to do that straight away, man, if I'm being so well. And yeah, that's when I was filming content on TikTok. That's when I learned that, right, I'm just that guy. Like, I've been making content, and so many younger students, right, they'll be coming up to me being like, oh, E-man, I like your TikTok, I like your TikTok. So I'm just there thinking, I'm going to get bullied, man. I'm going to get violated, you know, for going viral on TikTok. But luckily, I didn't. Everyone's being nice. I feel like I'm just like a celebrity in school, you know, in sixth form. Because in my secondary school, I wasn't a celebrity. I wasn't that popular to like year 11. But in sixth form, that's how I was more popular, you know, because of my TikToks. I was very, very popular in sixth form, man, which is crazy, man. And when KSI posted me on his Instagram post, oh my days, I was happy, man. I was so happy, you know. And I remember the time, like, when everyone was literally coming up to me being like, E-man, KSI posted you, E-man, KSI posted you. Everyone was so happy, man, which was crazy, you know. And then one time on the first day, I walked into class, and then one of my mates said, this KSI posted this guy, man. Everyone started laughing, man. I can tell that some of them are just jealous, you know. Some of the guys are just jealous, you know, innit? Because when you're a content creator, like, your enemies, yeah, if the people that you beef with, right, they're just gonna switch up, you know, since you're going viral on TikTok. They just want to be your friend all of a sudden. Like, always watch out for them type of guys. Like, just don't be their friend at all, and just cut them out, and they air them out straight away, you know, innit? So yeah, guys, I guess this is the end of the video, and those are the things that I've learned whilst I was in sixth form. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Peace. And make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe, and comment. And yeah, more videos to come. And it's just the beginning, and it's just the start. And yeah, I'm just getting active. And yeah, let's go, guys.